Welcome to Change Pace Poetry number 60. That's 60. I'm Leland Jamieson. Welcome again. I'm going to read two poems from my book in VITRO, and this is the beginning of the third section, Astral Wing. I don't think you can see that, but only two this morning because they are they're kind of thought pieces. They require a little more effort than some of the other poems, and they ask you to conjure up metaphoric images, and I'll deal with that with each poem separately. The first poem is called Pilgrim's Progress, and this is not in the religious sense. It is more in an existential sense. So I'll ask you to be aware of that. And the pilgrim is the conceptual metaphor that surrounds the whole poem. The poem consists of 3 stanzas of rhyme royal. So, Pilgrim's Progress. Sophomore's pool party. A dozen boys in dripping knee-length shorts, behind them skinny girls, bikini-clad, all barefoot, sprint downhill. The race aborts. The tarmac, sizzling late June sun, forbade and quickly detoured their Olympiad. They sit in clumps on neighbors' cooler grasses, hot-footed sheepish lads and social lasses. On tiptoe. On tiptoe towards the mirror every dawn, the little man with little chin takes care. Near his goatee, lest he look woebegone. Too light a stroke leaves too much stubbled hair. Too bold, and he may leave some chin quite bare. Thank God he has lots of perseverance, essential to keep up a man's appearance. Estate planning. A man works hard to fill his life with gold, or writing books with feeling, intellect, perhaps with kids to care for him when old. By these he seeks control, strives to perfect his power, make it so it runs unchecked. And late, perhaps, he'll come to see that knot of character he'll both take and lay to rot. Now the second poem is called Thumb of Prevailing Thought. It's not exactly thumbs up, but it does entail the earliest thumb any of us will remember. This is a sequence of English sonnets, and like the previous poem, each has a subheading, and without more, except to remind you, this would be considered by some people to be effortful to get the meaning here, but it's not that effortful, so I ask you to join in and enjoy it. Thumb of Prevailing Thought. 1. In a creche. Those tape recordings, standard protocol for patients in hypnosis age regressed, leave little doubt untutored folks recall details of times their learning can't suggest. The undergarments they and parents wore, odd cooking pots and pans, the hearth or stove, strange proverbs clothed in now lost metaphor, the shapes of wagons their prior dads once drove. A toddler who recalls his own past lives, where do they come from? How are they so fresh? Echoes of past lives which each birth revives. Tots don't just fabricate them in the creche. The toddler's mind, daydreaming in abstractions, relives through 0 point field past lives' actions. Number 2, one at a time. To master them, a tot replays these lives, though parents brush them off as cutesy-poo. They fret to think his blank slate brain contrives illusions that could leave a residue. It might impair his grip upon what's real. When he goes off to college, takes a job, gets married, brings the grandkids for a meal of char-broiled steaks with fresh corn on the cob. Our knowledge of the universe, both out beyond this planet's grime, beyond its thyme, and in the solitary mind's redoubt, advances slowly, one death at a time. If musing thus makes all your reason leery, look closer at the 0 point field theory. 3. Prevailing thought. The put-off toddler stows away each hurt, takes hard the put-downs of his cosmic view, identifies with parents who subvert him with a worldview they believe is true. As socialized by school then academe, most growing youngsters thumb prevailing thought, hitchhike a ride right along. Again, they thumb prevailing thought, which rationalizing gives pretend esteem to brains and psyches it consigns to rot. How can a young adult let go his thumb? Shriveled pink thought, that treacly antidote to risk of open minds, and overcome this forged flesh chokewad strangling him full throat. He'll need to spend most of his earthly time in seeking wisdom's freeing paradigm. That last one was rather longer than usual, so it's only 2 poems. And of course I invite you, I'm unprepared, to my website, jamiesonspoetry.com. You'll find there a library of all change-paced poetry videos with printed texts of all the poems read in this series. Or, if you want to cut to the chase, order in vitro at createspace.com, 3372169. That's createspace.com, 3372169. And so I want to thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next time.